Welcome to Dawson County News Fall Media Day. I'm here with the Dawson County High School football team. Dawson County News Fall Media Day is presented by Andine Chevrolet. Today I'm here with the Tigers football team, coming off the first year in the Jaybo Shaw era and looking to improve upon last year. Coach, thanks for coming out. Just kind of wondering, how's the summer been treating you guys?
Yeah, thanks for having us. Anytime we get a chance to get these guys out and get them in front of you guys and represent our football program, we're excited about it. So thank you for having us on and taking care of us. These guys have worked their tail off. I mean, really dating back to January when we got out of Christmas break, and this whole off season. I thought the senior leadership has been second to none, and they've done a really nice job of just continuing to do the things that we try to represent within our program. A core belief of us is being a part of something bigger than yourself, and it's always about the team. And these guys have certainly done that. They are. They've done a lot of different things over the summer. We've competed at several camps on college campuses. We've had some really good workouts and practices here throughout the summer. So really excited going into year two. These guys, it's kind of everybody's a little bit more familiar, one, with each other, how we do things, how we practice, what does our off season look like, what does our season prep look like, all those things. These guys have been through it once already, so they kind of know what to expect. And the bond within our team has gotten stronger, and very, very thankful for not only these guys up here at this table, but our entire football team, because they've worked their tail off and they've done everything we've asked them to do, and we're closing in on getting this thing started, and certainly excited about it.
And kind of just curious, you guys start obviously working out in the winter and then kind of go through spring ball and stuff. What's kind of been the growth you've seen from then to now?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is probably what I had touched on is just the familiarity of everything, of kind of what does our workouts look like, what does, how we do anything is how we do everything, type of mindset. And that's probably been the biggest thing. And then growing closer as a team, understanding, what our non-negotiables are and what we try to represent. At the end of the day, we all want to sit at this table and we have our season goals certainly and what we want to accomplish. But, at the end of the day, we want to make Dawson County proud and put a product out there that they enjoy coming to watch, because we're going to do things the right way. We're going to play for each other and represent Dawson with a lot of pride and take care of each other as a team. So, that's kind of what we've been focused on really since day one, and you just see the growth going into year two, and you see guys getting stronger. I think that's a huge point within us. We've actually been able to go through a whole off season now going into year two with all our coaches and being able to do some development position-wise through this off season. So I think number one is just the familiarity of what we're trying to do, and then you pair that on with this senior class and what how they've been able to lead and kind of reinforce what us as coaches are trying to do. We all know that, and these guys know it. I've said it 100 times. A player-led team is better than a coach-led team, and these seniors have certainly done an awesome job to this point of doing that and leading our football team, doing things the right way. So I'm just now, it's getting ready for this season and getting the season prep going, and it's getting close where I get to watch these guys compete and try my best as a coach to put them in spots to be successful.
And this is kind of my last, kind of reflecting kind of question is kind of, you said familiarity with you guys' system and all that stuff. And is there anything that you're kind of from year one to year two that you have kind of tweaked to make it just a better operation? Yeah,
well, I think, not only these guys understanding, but our coaching staff understanding, some guys change positions. Some guys, not just offensively or defensively, special teams, and what guys are, feel comfortable with, what they're good at, and then being able to put them in a spot to be successful. I think that's been a big thing kind of going into spring, of making some tweaks and adjustments as far as personnel-wise and positions that play in. And then the credit all goes to these guys for just trusting us as coaches, because that don't happen everywhere. And the credit goes to those guys. We are certainly very blessed. I am blessed to be sitting at this table getting to coach these guys and be a part of them. And so it goes back to the trust. These guys trust in us, and we trust them, and we're all in this thing together. And nobody's bigger than the team, myself included. So I think that's been an awesome, focal point that we've had. Kind of going into year two. I sound like a broken record, but just being comfortable with how we do things, and trusting us coaches and us trusting them to be able to go be successful.
And then I feel like every team kind of has their own identity, and I'm just kind of wondering if you seen kind of an identity kind of peek through the clouds here for this group.
If I had to sum it up in one word, I think toughness. These guys, whether it be through January or all the way to this point, we've put them through some tough things. Whether it's camps or first block. The way we train, that's the thing that screams out to me is a toughness. And then this team is very, very close. It's one of the closer teams that I've ever had as far as them being in a locker room and being a close-knit football team. And anytime you can have those two things align, it's going to give yourself a chance. And now we just have to go execute and trust our preparation and do those things, and it's going to put us in a spot to be able to be successful. So, the toughness and the team over me mentality, those two things I'm probably the most proud of. The schematic part, I tell these guys all the time, the schematic part, that's almost that's the easy part. That's our job as coaches is, to do that and get them ready to go play and execute. But, the intangible things is really what matters, and how you win multiple games and big games and sustain success. And we certainly have laid a foundation that can carry that on, and these guys are just continuing to pour that concrete.
Awesome. And passing along here to your players here, I'm just kind of wondering, for you guys, what are some of your personal goals and team goals that you have?
I would definitely say one of our team goals is to win a region. We play that purple team over there week 1, so we're definitely looking forward to that. Like Coach said, it's team over me. And the big thing over here at Dawson is, we're pretty tough, and big thing over here that we like to emphasize on is tenacity. That's a big thing. And really just putting the standard over your feelings. And we're going to come at you after every single play with that toughness, and you're going to feel it come fourth quarter. We're just one of those hard smack mouth teams, we're going to come at you. So it really comes back to, training since January, everything we've did leading up to this great group we've got right here of juniors. And we got Brody Sorensen, the junior quarterback, stepping up this year for sure. It's been a player-led team for sure. And I'd say one of our big goals is winning region and having a successful season. And we've definitely completed the steps leading up to, prior to the season, getting close to having our preseason scrimmage here pretty soon. We've been doing, what needs to be done, and looking forward to being successful this year. So,
awesome. And passing along here, kind of wondering, what's your transition kind of been like? I know you've moved to more of a, athlete kind of role. What's that transition kind of been like for you?
Yes, sir. It's been great. We've built a great brotherhood on this team, and they've just backed everybody up, whether it's me or whoever. We just have each other's back, not on the field, but also off the field. We push each other spiritually too. On a faithful note, each day we get better, whether it's, as a team in football or as a man, just trying to go throughout life, living and learning with each other, and then just pushing each other. And one thing we know this year, going in this year, we get going back to that spiritual note, God's with us, who should be against us, right? Mm-hmm. And we believe that each and every day. And we know that we got each other's back. If it came down to the wire, I got your back, you got mine. And that's going to be dangerous. That's hard to beat, everything could be going wrong, but we know what's going to happen. We know everything's going to be all right. And, we got each other's back. We keep pushing. We keep fighting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And kind of wondering, what are you excited for this season?
I'm excited for everything. I think the perseverance that we've gone through, especially, through injuries, me and Cody, I think we're excited. All of us are excited to see what we can do when it comes down to the nitty gritty. I can't tell you how hard this summer and that spring it was. Like we were getting after it, and I'm excited to show everybody else what Dawson County is about this year.
Absolutely. And kind of wondering, from, the quarterback perspective, what do you kind of want to lead like this offense to look like under you?
I mean, obviously it comes with a lot of leadership, and there's not a group of boys that are going to go out there every Friday night and want it more than us. I mean, we push each other every day. We go out there and compete and, holding each other to the standard every day. We know we got to go out there, get better, and just keep the energy up. And we're all excited for it, I think. So, yeah.
Awesome. And then, kind of mentioning down here, it's like a player-led team. What does that kind of mean to you to kind of see this team, kind of take on that kind of like player first kind of, attitude?
Yes, sir. I mean, being the Mike linebacker on the defense, you're the main person. Like, you're one of the main people yelling, calling it out. I mean, you got to have a lot of responsibility on you. And most coaches, like, some of them aren't going to point out a little thing, but you got to be able to notice it. And, like, you got to be able to coach them. And, like, somebody messes up, pick them up, help them. You got to point out the stuff and make it right. And I'm really excited for the defense this year. Got a lot of young guys stepping up, and I think it'll be great.
Awesome. And then kind of staying there, and we'll pass it down. I'm just kind of curious, is there any way on game day that you get, kind of yourself hyped up and get ready for a game?
Yes, sir. There's a lot. I like, for game day, I like to be quiet, relax, and just get your mindset set up and listen to music. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, and then pass it along there. The same question, how do you get yourself ready for game day?
I mean, the whole day I just visualize me making plays, us running out there, obviously. I think that's one of the greatest feelings on a Friday night, just knowing you're out there with your boys, going out there ready to battle. That's it for me.
Awesome. And same question here.
I think with being on the defense with JoJo, I think it's about being calm and knowing your job. I think a lot of people psych themselves out too much with all the loud music and everything. I think being calm, being in the Word, being with God, being with your coaches is the best way to get ready for games.
Awesome. Then same thing here.
Yeah, mine's definitely changed over the years. It used to be, get real pumped up, but then now I guess it's just playing from gratitude. Like I get to come out here and play football, and it's the last year. Just soaking it all in and just knowing that I'm playing for something bigger than myself. Right, win or lose, God's still with us. He still loves us unconditionally. Right, so just knowing that and going in there calm, just knowing that you're not going to be perfect, but still going out there and playing the hard as you can. That's all you can do, really. But yeah, I used to be, get riled up and stuff, which I still do. It's fun. I love cutting up with the boys, but that focus going into it too.
Just as Brody Sorensen down here said, the visualization part is a big thing for me. We've got similar mindsets, even whether it's, off the field that upcoming week for the game Friday, or if it's in school, you got to be laser focused and visualize the things and not psych yourself out. Like Jack said, just know what you've completed, the task you've completed leading up to the event Friday, and know that you've checked everything off, and that just go out there and compete and execute.
Awesome. And then I want to stay with the players here. I'm kind of curious, you guys have obviously Coach mentioned you guys have been working out, done a lot of camps together. Kind of wondering, has there been like a favorite memory from this time period, or like a fun time that you had at one of the camps or practices?
I would definitely say one of my favorite memories, this past off season would definitely be when we went up to Georgia Tech for that camp up there. We had a rough start. We lost. I'm pretty sure we lost first game, and Coach Shaw had a good message for us. If y'all don't want to be here, we can go home, and I think that got us pretty fired up. So. And definitely brought the tenacity and toughness out of us, and we definitely went and executed and went on to win the next 5 games at that camp. So we balled out and we did what Dawson County does. So
awesome. Same question there.
Yeah, the camps were a lot of fun. I really enjoyed stopping at the gas station with the team after the camps. That was fun. I like seeing what everybody gets and just cutting up and having fun. But really, yeah, just the bus rides, or, the summer in the locker room, like me, Cody, Jack, staying after, eating the meal they provided for us after, just talking, just, having a good time and listening to music, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm. So then,
I got to say, my favorite memory, like Cody said, was that Georgia Tech camp. I mean, we started off kind of slow, but by the end of it, we were rolling, and our our second playoff game, I'm from Forsyth, so beating Lambert was, it was a great experience. I mean, they're a bigger school, and we were a smaller school, and I think we just, our grit and our coaching too. I think Coach Hurd, who came from Lambert, I mean, he wanted to win just as bad as we did. So that was definitely a camaraderie moment for all of us.
I know Cody and Jack already said it too, but Georgia Tech would be my favorite too. We went down there, kind of an underdog team. You got all those big name schools down there, and we went deep in the playoffs. I think it was third round, and we were just battling it out. Offense would go out there, score. Defense would go get a stop. We kind of just fed off each other's energy, and it was a lot of fun just seeing us go out there and battle.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know you've heard it a lot, but the Georgia Tech game, that was the Georgia Tech camp. That was awesome. You're playing against a bunch of kids that are, most of them going to play D1 ball at those big schools. And it was just awesome. Got there, lost the first game, and then maybe the second game, I can't remember. And then he talked to us and was like, "You want to go home? We'll go home right now." And then we stepped it up. Next game, went out there, beat them by a lot, and then that got us going. And then beating Lambert was really fun inside the stadium, the indoor field in there. That was awesome.
Awesome. Well, if you want to pass it along to Coach here, I'm kind of curious more about, I feel like there's been emphasis, you guys off the field, I feel like do just as much work as you do on the field. What does that kind of mean to, help out the community off the field?
Yeah, well, I think, we're a part of something bigger than ourselves. And, I'm a man of faith, and the good Lord is, I told our team, and we talk about it often, the game of football doesn't define us. We all love football at this table, and it's opened a lot of doors for all of us, and it'll continue to open doors for these guys. But football is a vehicle that we use for a bigger mission, for a bigger platform, whether it's our future Tiger Camp going on right now, the fundraiser we have going on right now. Just a big thing for us is servant leadership, and how can we make an impact that's going to last so much longer than what happens on a Friday night, and keeping things in perspective. I think football is all going to end for us one day. It ended for me as a player, and the closest I can get to a locker room is being a coach. And I think when you hear these guys talk about like the Georgia Tech camp, or like Gunnar mentioned, just the time in the locker room and being with each other. That's the thing that they're going to remember, that they're going to be that they're going to miss one day. It's the things that I miss. And then I'm a firm believer. You do things the right way, and you work extremely hard, and you have each other's back, and you compete your tail off. Good things are going to happen. And you just kind of keep swinging at that tree, and eventually the tree's going to fall. And, having that mindset of keeping things in perspective, but also understanding, our football program has a great vehicle to use to impact a lot of people, whether it's our youth in our community, whether it's places all over the country, all over the world with what we're doing our fundraiser-wise, just using that as a vehicle to make impact. And that's going to last so much longer than what happens on a Friday night. Now, don't get it twisted. We spell fun, W-I-N, and we want to win every time that we step on the field, and we expect to win when we put on a football helmet. But having the perspective that, it's not the end all be all at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And I'll kind of wrap up with this question. It's just kind of, do you have a message to your, kind of want to say through here to your team, to the community about what this football team is about and what they're going to do, this upcoming season? Yeah,
I think if I was talking to our community right now, and our community knows this, but they have so much pride in Dawson County, and of wanting to make our community proud of how they play, of how they treat each other, how we act within our community. There's so much pride within our locker room and our team, and the love that they have for Dawson County. It's something special to be a part of. I am blessed that I get an opportunity to coach these guys and be a part of this thing. And then, what to expect. You're gonna see a tough football team that's going to be extremely physical, and that there's a no quit attitude, and we're going to keep swinging. until the final horn. So, like I mentioned, we certainly have our team goals and what we want to accomplish as a team, but we're also a very process-driven program of what does it look like tomorrow? What does it look like the next day of getting better for us individually, because it's different for Cody, it's different for each guy on our team, and making sure we just go in every day trying to have that mindset. But I am certainly excited about this football season, about this football team. Our community is going to have a lot of fun watching us on Friday night. We've got some great home games here this year that's going to have a playoff type atmosphere. So certainly excited about that. I love our schedule. I love where our off weeks are within our schedule. I think it fits very well from a maintenance standpoint and taking care of our guys. So just really looking forward to this year, and I'm certainly going to soak up every minute with this group because I will miss this one very much when it's done for them. So we're going to make the most of it, and I'm certainly going to do everything in my power to get these guys in the best spot to be successful.
Awesome, absolutely. Looking forward to this season. I thank you guys for coming out, and thank you for your time. And you can find our other season previews for the 2026 Dawson County Fall Media Day at dawsonnews.com. Thanks for watching.